What is going on, everyone, and welcome to a special video that's been kind of requested by a lot of you guys. So people want to see what kind of like rotations and stuff I do for Dark Knight PvP. I'll try to add some clips later of actual combat, but for now I'll just show you like the basic stuff that I do. Now keep in mind this is going to be for Succession, and as you guys know, Succession is more melee range compared to Awaken, which is you have more ranged abilities. So what I've noticed through a lot of practice is, one, you're going to have to like be in more melee range, and it's harder to engage on enemies. So overall, I would say what I'm about to show you is more for like 1v1s and small scale node wars. So it's like basically you're not 1vxing. You might be able to, but just not too many people. And I would say most of the time everything is situational, but just basic skill combos that I would use I'll show you. So hopefully I don't really do too many of these videos, so I'll try to make it as detailed as possible, and I'll try to slow it down so like people can pick it up. I've also seen like other people just like do that so quickly you don't really know what's going on. So I'll try to add some like pictures on screen so you guys can get a general idea. You can just pause it and all that stuff. So yeah, this is gonna vary based on your AP, but these are just general combos you can use. So we're going off the 2 float rule or 2 CC rule that they added like a year and a half or 2 years ago. So basic things, these are, keep in mind, very situational. It also depends on who you're fighting in general. So I play differently if I'm fighting like a Sork or a Mystic, for example. It's mostly just knowing what you're going to be fighting against. Also, the combos that I'm going to use, I can one-shot people or like one combo people. If you're at like 240 AP, you might have to do a few extra abilities, but don't worry. I, for the most part, know what I'm doing. So, yeah, let's just practice on a dummy right now. So, we're going to be going over Succession. Just keep in mind that I have, for the most part, everything I need maxed out. And I'll tell you some reasons why I chose not to go into certain skills. So, first of all, as you guys can see right here, we don't have the Prime Obsidian Ashes. And we do use the regular one. You're not really using it for the damage itself. You're using it because it's faster. So, if you guys have seen the Prime Succession, let me just show you for a second. I think they gave everyone the New Moon books, so I think I could just show you. Okay, so this is what normal Obsidian Ashes looks like. And just watch the timing and the animations, not the damage, that's irrelevant. So when you use it, look how fast it just throws it out, right? Oh, it's on 11-second cooldown, but that's beside the point. We'll just show you a combo real quick. So going off the 2 float or CC rule, things that I noticed that once you play Succession is it's harder to engage on enemies, and before you would just be able to like Shattering Darkness or Seed of Catastrophe enemies from a range, and now it's not actually as easy as that anymore. But now let me show you the Prime Obsidian Ashes. We saw how fast it went off, right? So the reason why we don't use the Prime Obsidian Ashes is when we do this, look at the time. Time to throw was like double, and that is not good. We do not want that. So you're not really using it for the damage, plus if you're using it for the 200%, getting the 200% is the hard part. So that's kind of irrelevant. So that's why we don't use Obsidian Ashes. We have the regular one, but not the Prime one. I mean, ultimately, if you have enough skill points, whatever. I just personally don't use it for that reason, why it's double the time. So anyway, let's get back to like combos and stuff. So as you guys know, 2cc rule. And with Succession, you're going to be mostly engaging through Airstrike, which is not protected, or your Twilight Dash, which is also not protected, which is stupid, but you know, you gotta engage somehow. So let's say an enemy is right here. You would go in, they get floated, or they get CC'd once, airstriked, and then after that, you would follow up with a pervasive darkness. So let's do that a little bit quicker. And then pervasive darkness, and then you could float them again with your enforcement. And then after that, you could use the heavy attack, which things I would consider heavy attacks are your Spirit Legacy, Lunacy of Adir, Wheel of Fortune. Those are the bigger hits that do the most damage. That's why we call them heavies. And then light attacks are pervasive darkness, which is just something you throw out quickly, and something you get in between your heavy attacks, if that makes sense. So let's start over that combo one more time. So you'll see as of right now, CC number 1, pervasive, and then you go down and then CC him again, and you could use literally any one of your heavy attacks. One of those 3, it works. Generally, they will die by that combo. Enforcement does so much damage. But yeah, so if you want to see that again, airstrike, pervasive, enforcement, and then heavy. So one thing I've noticed, this isn't even a new thing. Back when Awaken came out, Wheel of Fortune is one of the most unreliable skills. It's like sometimes when it works, it's really good. But with the current meta, everyone's playing evasion, and even if you're playing like non-evasion people, it just doesn't work sometimes. And the reason why, it is a very strong ability, and it says floating on good hits, right? Now that's the problem. Sometimes I've like fought my guildies and they just eat the Wheel of Fortune. It's like, you didn't get CC'd at all, you just grabbed me right through it. And even some of my older videos for PvE as well and PvP, things just kind of eat your Wheel of Fortune. It's just like, why didn't you get floated or anything with that? It's like, so yeah, just keep in mind that it's not really a reliable skill, and when it goes off, that's good, but that's the problem if it goes off. So that's one combo I do. So let's just do that again. Pervasive into CC again, and then that. Now another thing I've used in, or is like tested, hold on, let me just put on some RBF or Battlefield pots real quick. Well, actually, we don't need that one. The reason why we're doing that is because, one, I've been testing this, the Adir's Dogma thing, and I still really, like, I'm unclear if this is good or not. It's just kind of something you have on now. If you're using Awaken, don't worry about it. It's still not really that great. But now with Succession, that you're in melee range more often, this might be good during downtime attacks. So anyway, some other things you can do, depending on like the situation of where your enemies are. If you sometimes get the Wheel of Fortune off, you could always do the Stiffen. Enforcement is usually a strong one to combo with, and as long as they're floated, they generally have a 2 to 3 second downtime. I don't know why CCs are so long in this game, but it's basically at high-end wars and PvP, whoever gets CC'd first dies. That's just how it is until they change it. So, yeah. And other things you could do is, once you, like, this is what we're going to be using. So, first of all, Unveiled Dagger, you're using it for the Stiffen, and it's pretty good. So, when you use this one, you basically get a attack speed 10% for 5 seconds. So watch the bar like right here, right? So when you hit people, they get stiffened, your attacks go faster. You go that, and then you could just go behind them. So you're going to be Twilight Dashing them. I would use Twilight Dash only if the enemies are already CC'd. Because it's not protected, if you just like dash into them randomly like that, you're gonna get grabbed. It just grab, CC'd, and then you're dead. So don't do that. Try not to. So yeah, now that we have like 2 different combos down, now another good one that they changed for Succession specifically is Slanted Balance. You can hit people from so far away now. It's pretty amazing. Previously, with old Succession or pre-Succession, if you used Slanted Balance, where is it? Yeah, slanted balance. The range is not that far. So if you're not used to using slanted balance or PvP, it's something you're going to have to get used to. So if you're not used to using slanted balance, it's down left mouse. You hit things from so far away. Once they're down, you could always do that. Float them. Combo. Now, another thing that most people may or may not have used is Ravage Rake. Previously, when I was on Awaken, I rarely used this, but now I'm starting to incorporate it into a combo. So, I would say if you had the option to use like one skill or the other, Ravage Rake or Enforcement, I would 100% go Enforcement route always. It just, like, they're comparable damage. It's for the most part the same, assuming yours is maxed out. Mine isn't. But I find Ravage Rake more a PvE ability, whereas Enforcement is used in both PvE and PvP and just does massive damage. So I guess I would say they're comparable in damage, but this one just takes longer. So this is what Ravage Rake looks like. See how that took so long, whereas like if you just stiffen Enforcement them, it's instant. So like one is also a CC, one is just straight damage that recovers health. So keep that in mind depending on what you're doing. And try not to use the Spirit. This is kind of not even new. You use this in Awakened and Non, but Spirit Legacy, you don't really want to use it off cooldown, or like when there's a cooldown happening like right now, try not to use it. Like try not to spam it. So in normal situations, like just a normal engage, buff, airstrike, CC again, heavy, and then if there's another person, slanted balance them down. Another combo. Just in general, I think they increased the radius for Twilight Dash, so you can hit things like that, and then you also combo that with the Nocturne. This is Succession specific, so as you guys can see in the tooltip here, Lunacy of Vidir, Twilight Dash, and Comma Slash, those are all things you can combo with Nocturne. So I'll just show you them in general right now. So we're going to start with Lunacy of Vidir, then you hold right, then you go invisible. You can go front back, the same as Nocturne as usual, but you just combo that with one of the three skills. So another one we would use is Twilight Dash. This is the one you'll see most often in PvP. People dash in, and then you have the Nocturne going off as well. So basically, you dive through, right mouse, and then you turn around, you get an extra slash in. That's pretty good. Now this one is kind of tricky. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's probably just me doing it wrong. But now that you can hold comma slash down, and then when you right click, it works. But then sometimes it's like you get the comma slash and the Nocturne off. You have to like hold it down basically. So you'll probably see the Nocturne one, or Nocturne comboed with comma slash and Twilight Dash. You won't really see it often with Lunacy of Vidir, because by the time, like if you're doing it in a perfect situation, by the time you get your Lunacy of Vidir off, they're already dead. So just keep that in mind. So again, let me see. So our goal is to CC this dude first, right? CC them, and then him. See, he's still getting up, and you just knock this guy down twice. 1BX potential. There are some other ways it's not as simple as that, really. I'm just showing you basic combos that I would do, but it really depends on like who you're fighting and like how good they are. So yeah, in general, that's for the most part what's going to be happening. Some things that you're going to have to get used to over time, like if you're switching from Awakening to Succession, your C-swap, your Twilight Dash used to be on F, now it's on C. It's just a different button now that we don't have to swap it out. So if you're at a range, you can, like, this is also another engage in a 1v1. Slanted, Twilight Dash in, depending on where they are. Mostly you kind of just need to know what your CCs are. Back when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing. You see a lot of people just spamming Spirit Legacy because it does a lot of damage and it's spammable. So if you get someone with it, that's good. However, if you spam it like twice in a row, that's not good. It'll, like, the second effect basically does nothing. So just keep that in mind. You gotta actually learn to use the combos more often. You saw this target right here. We did a full combo on him as he was CC'd once from a slanted balance, and we just got him down. So in general, those are some basic combos. You could use that for, I would say you can technically use them in both Awaken and Succession. Just keep in mind slanted balance that for Succession has a significantly longer range. So if you're going to use this in Awaken, you're gonna have to be like up to like this close for it to work. Now the reason why we didn't use it in Awakened is because you had ranged abilities like Shattering Darkness and Seed of Catastrophe and Spirit Hunt and all that stuff. Where is it? Oh yeah, Spirit Hunt. This is a big one that we lost. It was a really good one. You could stiffen. So like you just dive in and then Spirit Hunt and then do your combo. But now that we don't have that, they just made it longer. We sold something. Oh. Anyway, hopefully that was pretty straightforward. You can watch my other videos. We do have some PvP and PvE. I could do a specific one for PvE in general, but it's kind of different the way we do like PvP and PvE, different combos. So I guess we're too seriously, but generally we're playing a class without a grab. We're a glass cannon. It's basically what it's like. Also, make sure to turn this off when you're not using it. It does drain your MP pretty much infinitely until you toggle it. So one day they'll come out with the infinite potion. Korea already has it. Then we won't have to use potions anymore. Isn't that a great experience? All of these things will become worthless. So anyway, once again, hope you guys enjoyed it. It's just basic combos. Really depends on who you're fighting. Keep in mind. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys later.